This video is going to be all about zero-based budgeting. I'm going to go through what they are, why I use them, and why I think they are the best and easiest way to budget, and also how you can set up a zero-based budget for yourself and start using it from today. So setting up my zero-based budget is actually one of the first things that I do every single payday, so I can see exactly where my money is going, my savings, my investing, and my expenses every single month. And I do that on payday just to get an overview of where my money is going.
Hello, I like money.
But bringing it back to zero-based budgeting, the absolute basics, what are they? All a zero-based budget is where every pound and penny you earn each month is either saved, spent, or invested. Every single pound is being put towards something, whether that's saving for your house deposit, investing for the long term, buying yourself something nice. You're using every pound that you earn, and that is why I guess it gets the name zero-based, because whatever you earn, you bring it all the way down to zero by the end of the month, and then it starts all again from the next month. You get paid into your bank account, and every single pound is either saved, spent, or invested, and that money goes all the way down to £0 again. So you're essentially maximizing and making the most use out of the money you are earning every single month. It is going towards something. Before I move on to why I use zero-based budgets and think they're the best way to budget, I would say that I think the word or term budgeting has some bad connotations, and people think that they're restrictive. If you budget, you can't do anything fun. I personally think, and have experienced the exact opposite. Budgeting each month on payday when I get paid is one of the best things that I do, because I know exactly where my money is going to be going for that month. I still have some money left over so I can have fun stuff and save towards holidays and traveling, but it gives you that peace of mind that my personal finances are under control and I'm managing my money properly. So the reason why I use zero-based budgeting, I guess the first thing is to compare it to other budgeting methods. So there are some sort of bucket methods where, you know, people say put 50% into your housing or into your necessities, 30% into fun, 20% into savings. I just find that when you give each sort of bucket, investing, saving, expenses, a set percentage, that is actually when it becomes too restrictive, and that's when you sort of got to try and predict ahead of time what your expenses are going to be. So I might go for a night out every single week in a month, although you can't at the moment because of coronavirus, and spend loads of money on nights out, but then I might not then go for a night out for the next month. So had I then at the start of the year set a budget to say spend £300 on nights out every month, I've then probably gone above that on month one, and I've then spent £0 in month two, and I just find that setting sort of almost arbitrary guesswork numbers doesn't work for me personally, which is why I use zero-based budgeting, because I like the flexibility. Of course, there are some things, you know, that are pretty set in stone, like your rent or your mortgage, your gym membership, your car payment. A lot of things are variable, such as bills, food, you know, buying clothes, as I mentioned already, nights out, eating out. They're quite flexible and change from month to month. So I personally prefer, rather than assigning a set number to them ahead of time, I personally prefer to leave them to be flexible, which when I get on in a minute to show you how to set one up, that'll probably make a bit more sense. But the main pro for me for zero-based budgets is that they are flexible. I'm not setting myself specific numbers on what I can spend in restaurants, on nights out, and then if you ultimately hit or miss those targets, then might affect you and you think you've failed. I don't do that. I use a zero-based budget because it's flexible, and I'm gonna show you now in terms of how I set mine up. So I do this thing on payday every single month called the fun money calculation. What I do is, as you can see here, I put in my net income, which I've just used made up numbers just to sort of give a good example here of all the things you can include. I then minus all of the amount of money I want to be investing that month, which is always pretty similar, minus the money I want to save each month, which once again is always pretty similar month to month. I then will minus my fixed and variable expenses, which I know I will incur. So some fixed costs like rent, Spotify are quite easy to, you know, they're the same every month. As I mentioned, you might have other things like gym membership, you might have travel expenses, not so much at the moment, but normally there are a set amount of travel expenses per month. I then will also minus my variable costs, which I know I'm going to incur, the main two being bills and food. And then this then gives me a very quick snapshot, and this only takes a few minutes. You can probably set one up yourself in an Excel or a Google Sheet, type in your specific categories, and this will then tell you your fun money of what you've got left over after you've invested, saved, and also accounted for them fixed and variable expenses, which you know you're going to incur. In this example, we now have £400 of fun money left, and this is now the essentially discretionary spending that can be used for whatever you want it to be used for. So this £400 could be used buy some clothes you want, buy a pair of trainers, you can get a coffee every day, whatever you buy someone a Christmas present, whatever you want to do, that is what that fun money is for. And now the beauty of it is, or zero-based budgeting, just say in that month you have £400 and you only spend £300, so you've still got £100 left. That £100 left over at the end of the month can then be used for something else, because as it's zero-based, you want to get that amount all the way down to £0. So if you had £100 left over, you could be like, you know what, I've had a bit of a tough month, I might treat myself to a new pair of trainers, and you can spend that £100 on a pair of trainers and not feel guilty because it's still part of your fund money. Alternatively, if you maybe already bought a pair of trainers in that month, you might then say, okay, I've got £100 left, I don't want to buy anything, so I'm going to invest that money for the long term. I'll put it in my stocks and shares ISA, put it in an index fund, and let it compound over the years. And this is what I do every month on payday. I will put in my investing, saving, and expense amount, get left with my fund money, which is what is to spend for the month. If I have anything left over, I'll then usually put it into my stocks and shares ISA at the end of the month. I've also worked out these little handy percentages just so you can see how much you're investing or saving as a percentage of net income, of gross income. And if you want to go one step further, you can also include your pension, which is what I do in my spreadsheet, so I can work out my percentages of how much I'm investing and saving each month. And that is pretty much it. So as I did mention, I actually do track every single expense. I'm a bit obsessive and I do like managing my money and getting into the details, and I do track every single transaction I make every month, but there is no reason for you to do that. All you need to do is set up this calculation, work out how much fund money you have left. You can even transfer it to a separate bank account and then you only use that card to spend for the month and so on. And then that money is what can then be used for fun stuff. And if you've got anything left over, you can then once again use that for more fun stuff or to save and invest. So that wraps up this video, a fairly short one, but hopefully showing you what are zero-based budgets, why I think they're good, and the main reason is they're flexible. I don't want to assign certain pound amounts to different categories. I'd rather set up this calculation minus everything I know for a fact I'm going to incur in the form of savings, investments and expenses, and then be left with my fund money or discretionary spending money to then use for that month. And hopefully shown using this calculation how you can literally quickly and easily set up one of these in 5 minutes now. Open up a Google Sheet or an Excel, type it all in, and this is then all you need to do on payday. When you get paid, you can then chuck in your net pay at the top. All of these amounts might not even change from month to month, so it could even take you less than 5 minutes to sort out. You can then see exactly how much is left over, and that is then how much you have for the month to spend for fun. And I find this method very useful because I know that I'm putting money towards investing and saving and my expenses whilst having some fun money left over to spend on things that I enjoy, such as going on nights out. But yeah, that wraps up this video. Thank you very much for watching. Whatever budget method you use, please leave it in the comments. I'll be interested to hear that. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.